Hey, Rook Knight here. Thanks for joining me. If you're wondering why I have this here, check out my last short. But here I wanted to talk about two pretty decent tips on challenge locks for making challenge pins and also with your springs. So my first one is going to be actually, if you ever heard of checker pins, I have a way to make some steel checker pins really cheaply and really easily. You can make a couple hundred of these for under $2. And I'm going to show you what I used, and it was actually this threaded steel rod. I got it at my local hardware store for under $2, $1.89. And now this is 1/8 of an inch, so it's not going to fit right away. So you're going to have to do some sanding to be able to get it to fit. And cutting, I'm going to do a quick walkthrough showing anybody that's interested, maybe just to give you some ideas on how you can go about cutting yours. But this stuff, it really is great. It works great inside of a challenge lock. Now that said, I'm not recommending this inside of anybody residential's house lock or a business lock. You should be using brass pins if you're going to be locking something up of value, but we're talking about challenge locks where they're going to be cut open in, either direction and all different things happening to them. So it doesn't matter if you're using anything from brass to steel. I mean, I've seen pins made out of glass, for crying out loud. Anyway, let's hop over to that quick video on how I made these little pins, and we will come back and I'll show you one more tip. All right, so let's get started. You can see here, it's just a hair too big. The 1/8 is just a little bit too big to be able to fit inside the chamber. You're going to want to either get something to lock it into a chuck, whether it be a Dremel or a drill, just something to hold it in place firmly. You're also going to need a saw. I prefer a jeweler saw. It makes a very fine cut, and there's less of a cleanup at the end, but it's up to you, of course. I like taking and cutting it anywhere from like 3 to 4 inches of the rod. That way it just makes it more easy to work with. So in here, I'll take out, maybe leave like an inch inside, and then now I got about 2-3 inches sticking out. And using some heavy sandpaper, like 80 grit, I'm gonna run it through by turning the drill on, and then I'm gonna keep testing it and seeing until it fits into the chamber properly. It's also nice to have on hand a brass brush or a steel brush just to take off any of the sandpaper that might be stuck to it. And checking now, it fits perfectly. So we're going to now just grab the saw again and measure out, or I'm just eyeballing it, but you can measure out an exact size of the Bible pin that you want to make and saw it up from there. I'm just winging this, but I'm sure you can find ways to make this, more sturdier. But this is just how I have been able to make them quick and dirty. But this definitely just gives you ideas, hopefully, on what you could do with yours. After that, you can see, well, maybe you can't see, but there's little burrs on either side. So what I like to do is put it into the chuck. This works better with a Dremel chuck, with them being smaller, but you can see there's a little bit of burrs, and that just would, you don't want to have them catching on the chamber. So I'll lock it into the chuck, turn the drill on, and actually bring out a metal file and run that over the top to try to even it, as well as even on like the corners kind of thing. And I'll show you here in a second. Doesn't take much, but you also might want to do the opposite side as well. This one was pretty good already. I think it was from a previous time that I did it, so I already filed the other side. But now if I make another one, I'll have to do both sides again. But there we go. Quick and dirty, but it works very effectively. It catches the chamber really nicely and gives some good clicks and great feedback and confusing feedback and whatnot for pennies on the dollar. And we're back, and hopefully that explains a little bit on how to go about this, or maybe how you can go about this. I'm sure you can change it up a little bit to fix and to fit your needs. But the last thing I wanted to talk about is a cheap alternative to Bic springs. I know some people are against the Bic springs because, they can damage picks, but I think as long as you warn the person that, Bic springs are inside your challenge lock, you should be okay. But I found a cheaper alternative on Amazon after searching and searching for springs. I found a pack of 20 springs for under $7. Here they are here. They work fantastic. You can either cut them into halves or any size you want. Very, very strong. And it definitely beats having to dig out the spring out of this Bic lighter. That's not fun. And even checking out prices, 10 Bic lighters are somewhat like under $12, and you still have to dig out every single one, and you're only getting 10 for I think 11 or $12. Here you're getting 20 springs, 20 strong springs for under $7. So you can't beat them. I'm going to leave the link in the description. Grab them if you want them. They definitely are fun to pick with. That's actually what I have in here. You feel definitely a big resistance with even just the key getting put in, and they make for a hell of a pick. So hopefully your victims will hate you for it, but you should have some fun. Even if you want to use it for just practicing with yourself, you know, give yourself some a challenge. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. Hope that helps somebody out there. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you all next time.